Hello and welcome to this tutorial about planning for Microsoft Defender for Identity deployment. In this tutorial, I will talk about the Microsoft Defender for Identity architecture and the prerequisites. My name is Navneet Kumar. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer and the founder of TrainCrest Technologies. Learning objectives of this tutorial are understanding the Microsoft Defender for Identity architecture and understanding the Microsoft Defender for Identity prerequisites. Let us first talk about the Microsoft Defender for Identity architecture. In the architecture of the MDI, there are multiple components involved. Number one is the agent, that is known as MDI sensor. The job of these MDI sensors is to collect and send the data to the cloud service, Microsoft Defender for Identity. These agents are nothing but the lightweight software agents, and they are deployed on the domain controllers. They act as an eye and the ear of the MDI. They continuously monitor network traffic and extract the relevant data about the user activities within your Active Directory environment and send it to the Microsoft Defender for Identity cloud service. Optionally, these sensors can also be deployed on Active Directory Federation services or Active Directory Certificate services servers for broader security coverage. Number two is data collection. MDI sensors are responsible for collecting the various data points about user activities. This data includes the user login attempts, whether it was a successful attempt or failure, password changes, privileged account activities like accessing any sensitive data, lateral movement attempts, accessing resources from unusual locations, data forwarding. The collected data is securely transferred from the MDI sensors to the cloud-based MDI service. And this secure connection ensures data privacy and integrity during the transmission. Then we have cloud-based MDI service. This is the heart of MDI, you can say. It resides in the Microsoft Secure Cloud environment, and it houses the following functionalities like real-time analysis, threat detection, alert generation, or investigation and threat hunting. Next is integration and communication. This Microsoft Defender for Identity can be integrated with SIEM tools, and MDI, by integrating with these SIEM tools, can allow the seamless information sharing between MDI and other security tools that facilitates a coordinated response effort during security incidents. Next, we have security and scalability. Data security, if I talk about, Microsoft adheres to strict data security practices. Users' data collected by MDI sensors is encrypted in transit and also at rest. Access is restricted to authorized personnel. In terms of scalability, as a cloud-based service, MDI automatically scales to accommodate the growth need of your organization. You don't need to worry about the infrastructure limitations as your user base or data volume increases. Talking about understanding the Microsoft Defender for Identity prerequisites, number one is the license requirement. As I mentioned in the previous tutorial of this series as well, that the Microsoft Defender for Identity is not sold as a standalone product. You cannot purchase it as a standalone product for per user basis or something. It is bundled with these specific suite of services like Enterprise Mobility Plus Security E5. It is part of that per user license that we assign to our users. So this is included in that. Microsoft 365 E5, A5, G5 it is included in, or specific Microsoft 365 E5 SKUs for security you use, or Microsoft 365 F5 Security Plus Compliance suite that you use. It is part of that. As far as the technical prerequisites are concerned, So we need to have a supported operating system for the MDI sensor. The network connectivity, as it will be connecting and sending this data to the Microsoft Defender for Identity Cloud Service over TCP 443. So if your machine is, or the sensor is behind the firewall, then you need to connect it. You need to look for the firewall exceptions. The .NET framework, Active Directory configuration, and the directory service accounts are required. I have provided the link for the detailed technical prerequisites and licensing requirements for the Microsoft Defender for Identity in the description of this video, where technical prerequisites like 2 CPU core and the 6 gig of memory on the domain controller running minimum 2016 of operating system, .NET Framework 4.7 are such kind of requirements mentioned. And along with that, you will see the article on capacity planning for the Microsoft Defender for Identity. The sizing tool you will be finding over there in the description of this video. For more details, I recommend you to visit these MS Learn documentation links for updated details about the hardware, operating system, and the software requirements for this agent. Well, at the end of this tutorial, let us talk about the module review questions. I have few questions for you that you can answer in the chat box. Number one is, which of the following statement is true about MDI licensing? MDI is available as a standalone product with a per user license. Option B is MDI is included in all Microsoft 365 subscriptions. Option C, MDI is bundled within specific Microsoft security suites with per user cost associated with the entire suite. Or option D, MDI licensing requires a separate purchase for each domain controller you want to monitor. Do let me know the correct answer in the chat box. Well, the correct answer for this question is C. As we have already discussed, if we look at the option A, that it is not available as a standalone product. MDI is also not included in all the Microsoft 365 subscriptions. There are specific subscriptions. And option C is that it is bundled with specific Microsoft security suites that we have seen in the previous slide deck. Next question is, what is the primary function of MDI sensors? What do they do? To provide multi-factor authentication for user logins. Option B, to collect data about user activity within the Active Directory environment. Option C, to centrally manage security policies for all your devices. Option D, to encrypt sensitive data at rest within your network. Do let me know the correct answer in the chat box. Well, the correct answer for this is to collect the data about user activities within your Active Directory environment and send it to the Microsoft Defender for Identity Cloud Service. That is the job of the MDI sensors. Next question is, which of the following features is not directly offered by MDI? Which feature is not offered? Option A, real-time analysis of user activity data for anomaly detection. Integration with SIEM systems for centralized security incident response. Option C, endpoint protection capabilities to safeguard devices from malware. Option D, threat hunting tools to proactively search for suspicious activities. If we look at these one by one, option A is fine because real-time analysis is offered, directly offered by this MDI. Option B, integration with SIEM tools is also supported. I discussed that in the previous video. If you have not gone through my previous video on the overview of the Microsoft Defender for Identity, so please do visit that. I will put the link in the chat box, in the description, excuse me. Endpoint protection capabilities to safeguard devices from malwares is not the capability of, or it is not directly offered by the MDI. So the correct answer is C. Because if we look at the D, threat hunting tools to proactively search for the suspicious activities is also offered. We can write our custom queries as well for threat hunting purpose. Well, the correct answer is C. The key takeaway of this tutorial is that we have different components involved in the deployment of the Microsoft Defender for Identity. which includes the MDI sensors, the agents, software agents that are deployed on the domain controllers or certificate services servers or the federation servers. And then we have the data collection from these sensors. We require some network connectivity and configuration to be configured. The link is there in the description. We have the MDI cloud service, the Microsoft Defender for Identity cloud service, that processes this data. It acts as a heart of the MDI solution. And we use the different tools for threat hunting purpose or for detection policies or baselines that we define for any kind of suspicious activities or threats to detect and to investigate and respond to that. We use the different tools. That's all about this tutorial on planning for the deployment of Microsoft Defender for Identity. In the next tutorial, I will talk about the deployment and will show you how to deploy the MDI sensors to collect the data from the Active Directory environments. I hope this tutorial was informative to you. Thanks for watching and do subscribe my channel for more videos.